Today we're going to take a drive to Wayne, New Jersey and meet up with my old friend Tony Wellman at the Antique Phonograph Show. Now the antique phonographs are very interesting because when the electricity's gone, the lights go out, all you do is wind it up and you have music. It's amazing. Let's go see how our grandparents lived.
Thanks, Lou. We're here in Wayne, New Jersey at the Mechanical Music Extravaganza, and it is indeed extravagant. Let's go inside and you can see what entertained your grandparents. Let's go.
When people first walk into the Mechanical Music Extravaganza, they are walking into a time warp that's taking them back over 100 years. They're seeing phonographs and mechanical music devices that are playing as good today as they were when they were first manufactured 100 years ago or more. This hobby is a lot of fun because the music and the machines all in one, well coordinated, they talk back to you and they give you a lot of entertainment from the past. This is the music that your grandparents and great-grandparents had, especially your great-grandparents, who when they were very young, most houses had no electricity. So the wind-up phonograph was a gift from the gods, and the music then went coast to coast and came right into people's homes for the very first time. This is what makes it all very exciting here because a lot of this has been saved and saved by a lot of people. So enjoy yourself. You'll meet a couple of the collectors. You'll meet some people with very interesting histories. So this is the short course. If you want the long course, we'll get back to you some other time. Thank you.
We're inside the belly of the beast now. We're inside the Mechanical Music Extravaganza with two of the most extravagant people here. Peter Dilge and Paul Baker. Both
we're old timers now.
Long-time veterans in the field, both have fascinating areas of expertise. Peter, you may know as the Wizard. Hold one of the Wizard cylinders. This is the man that created and publishes Wizard cylinders, an expert at wax cylinder reporting. We'll explain that later. And this is Paul Baker, who does some amazing work in terms of restoration and bringing machines back from the dead.
And if you don't believe me, ask
Heel. Is that a fair introduction?
Hello.
As you can see, they're
And as we are all Green Brother novelty orchestra artists.
That's right. All of us have some Green Brother records in our collection.
A few. Thank God for Green Brothers. We wouldn't be able to sell these things without them.
Yes, we have no bananas.
That's right.
Yes, we have no bananas. We have no bananas today. We sling beans and onions, cabbages and scallions, and all kinds of fruit and say. We have an old-fashioned tomato, Long Island potato, but yes, we have no bananas. We have no bananas today.
So, Paul, what are you working on right now? What's the particular interest that our audience might understand?
Well, I'm always working on everything, and I'm into multiphones now. So
Multiphones and phonographs about this high.
I've got eight different multiphones.
Yeah. How many records do multiphones play?
Generally 24.
So multiphones play cylinder records like this. They were one of the first record changers. They could play 24 of these, one after the other, or put in a coin.
Well, the first style was called the multi-phonograph.
Yeah. You need
And then the second style was called the multiphone. And then the third style
Very
was
close
the
experience.
Kalamazoo automatic.
In fact, this is how you make a record. You gotta get real close like this.
So guys, it's been real. We've been enjoying talking to you, and we gotta go. Thanks.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
This is Randy Morris, who's visiting Wayne, New Jersey from Orlando.
That is correct. All the way from Florida.
Randy, what brings you here? What's going on?
Well, I wanted to come up and do the show because I had a break in my time schedule. I couldn't do Union this year. I couldn't do California. I couldn't do anything.
These are other shows like this.
Other phonograph shows. And I ran out of room. I bought a huge collection of phonograph records, 32,000. And so I'm catching up.
Well, that's got to be a story in itself.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll talk about that another time.
Okay.
Okay. So, what are you selling here, and what's been going on? And
just various things that I've had for a long time.
why don't we get close to the camera, and he can pan your table while you talk about it.
220 for that one machine.
Oh.
60. He's home I bought out there earlier.
Great.
And are these 25 for the pair?
Yes. Yes.
Well, you just saw a deal being made. This goes on all the time here at the extravaganza.
Keep talking, gentlemen. We just throw out money. Oh, that's fine.
Look at this.
There you go, kid.
Thank you.
That last part was a tip, evidently. Huh?
So anyway, this is an Amarillo 6, which I bought at G.W. McKinnon's, if you're familiar with them.
No.
North Carolina. He sold mostly Nickelodeons and stuff, but also a lot of phonographs back in the 70s. And it's an unusual Amarillo. It's a B6. Success! The square top standard over here with an original brass horn, which I had a brass instrument come in, clean up.
Very clean. Very clean.
Was from a tour I did with the Louis Armstrong show, Satchmo, America's Musical Legend.
So you're a musician, a professional
Musician and performer.
So you travel.
Yes.
And therefore you
I find things.
you have opportunities to duck into little shops and things
Yes.
like that.
And so there's this shop near the college there in Boston, Yale,
We've heard
the Boston Talking Machine Company. And I went there and I discovered that they sold clothes.
Oh, you went to the old address.
No, that was the name of it. I don't know why they
kidding.
called it that, but they sold like vintage clothing. I guess they just thought that was cool. But that was there.
Was it?
And I've had it for a long time. But
So
now
instead of buying a suit, you bought a phonograph.
I bought a phonograph. I've had it for a long time. It's really nice. But I found a 2-clip standard
Right?
with a serial number of like 57.
So what he's talking about is a very obscure fact. If you look here, you see these 2 clips. That puts the top onto the base. The later ones had 4 of these. The earlier ones had 2. So, being a dedicated collector, he wanted the earlier one. Is that fair?
That's correct.
So now you sell the older one to help you pay for the earlier one.
Yes, we are always upgrading if possible.
That's right. Okay. Well, Randy, listen, thanks a lot. How are sales going? We just saw one.
So far, very well.
I think you may have somebody here who has a question. As soon as we can get you off camera. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.
No wonder I'm happy. I ought to be happy. My sweetie's in love with me. The minute he told me nobody could hold me, it won't be long, no sirree. He is the cutest proposition. I'll say I had a lot of opposition. No wonder I'm happy. I ought to be happy. My sweetie's in love with me.